Hi, good morning. How are you? Welcome to episode 6 of the Samsqueak Craftcast. I am Sam, and I'm coming to you from my living room in my home just outside the city of Chicago, where I live with my husband, my 2 crazy little redheaded boys, and my scruffy little old man dog, Toby. I'm so happy you're here. If you are a new viewer, thanks for joining me. I hope you'll stick around and just see what I'm up to. This is a podcast where I chat about what I am crocheting, mostly, and yeah, general life updates. Mostly it's crafting and yarn. So yeah, I'm happy you're here. If you are a returning viewer and a subscriber, thank you for joining me. I hope you've got a good cup of coffee or tea and that you're ready to see what I've been up to in the last month. Guys, it's been a month since my last episode. Every time I think I'm gonna be better. I'm going to not wait forever, and then I wait forever. I don't have a schedule of when I'm committed to podcasting, and I think maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to commit to when I'm going to put out a new episode, because right now I just kind of do it when I feel like I have something to say, or when I have enough to show. I know some podcasters go every week. I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time to do that, and we'd run out of things to talk about real fast. And some people go every 2 weeks. I feel like that's a good balance. I know some people do every month, and that's just what they're committed to, and then they have a lot to cover in that episode. So I don't know, what do you prefer? How often do you like to hear from your podcasters? I'm leaning towards the every 2 weeks, because I feel like a month, and it's been a while. Yeah. I like seeing you guys. I like seeing my other podcaster friends, so I say the more often, the better. I don't know. That's a complete side note. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry it's been a month. And we'll see if I get more consistent later. So I'm drinking today a cup of tea, cream of Earl Grey tea, in my David's Tea mug. I love coffee. I am a coffee addict, but I try to limit my caffeine intake. So after my first cup or 2 of coffee for the day, I switch to tea, and I usually do herbal teas, unless I need the caffeine, and then I'll do a black tea. If you don't have a David's Tea, or if you've never been to a David's Tea, I'm just warning you, it's dangerous. It's like a yarn store for tea. You will go in there and smell all the teas and spend all the money. So, just fair warning. It's amazing. They have fantastic tea. I'm addicted to them. We have far more than one household with 2 tea drinking people should have, but yeah, they're amazing. So you should go if you have one near you, or check them out online. But don't say I didn't warn you. You'll spend all the money. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's jump into, we're not going to do a what I'm wearing segment, because what I'm wearing is a giant blanket scarf. Because apparently it's winter in April, the middle of April, and I am freezing. I'm sitting in my house, so cold. I have on fuzzy socks, and I've been wearing a big sweater, and I took that off. So now I'm wearing a giant blanket scarf because it's too cold, and I can't run my space heater while I'm talking to you, or all you would hear is the space heater. I want spring. I'm done with this. I'm done with the cold and the snow. It was snowing yesterday. No, this is unacceptable. There should not be snow in the middle of April. I'm not happy about it. Anyways, so we're not doing a what I'm wearing, because what I'm wearing is a $3 blanket scarf from Target. So we're going to jump right into finished objects. I have a couple. So first of all, I finally finished my Big Bold Cabled Infinity Scarf by A Crocheted Simplicity. And here it is. it's very twisty. It's very long and skinny. So I'll put it on for you to get out of my blanket scarf. See, here's the thing. I'm not happy with this scarf. I don't think it's the pattern's fault. I think it's my fault. It's too skinny and it's too long. So when I wear it like this, I feel like it's too loose. And also the cables are super twisty. But if I wear it looped 3 times, it's too tight, I think. I mean, it would probably be good for like trekking out in the snow. Like, it would keep you warm, but it's not cozy. So this is made with the Karen tea cakes, which is, I believe, discontinued. I'm not going to get back into this, but I'm going to just throw it around me because I've got more to show you. So it's made with It's made with Karen tea cakes, which is bulkier than what the pattern calls for, and I don't think I went up far enough in my hook size. So this is the crocheted purling section, so it looks like knitting. It looks like pearl rows. I really like the way those look. And this is the cable section, so I can flatten it out. It's hard to tell. Yeah. So twisty. So that's a cable. That's one cable repeat. So there are 3 cable sections and 3 purl sections, and you just kind of repeat one whole segment. So I thought about taking it, unseaming it, and frogging the last cable and purl section and making it just a shorter scarf. But I think I still won't like it. I don't think I like the stiffness that it turned out in this fabric, in this yarn. Yeah, I'm just not happy with it. It was fun to make. I enjoyed the pattern. I might make it again, or I might use the elements from it and modify it, because I think what I would like is for it to be twice as wide and half as long. I think I'd like 2 cable sections side by side, and then longer purl sections side by side, because I think I do better with wide short scarves than long skinny scarves. So I don't know. It's a finished object, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might donate it. I don't know, guys. Can't win them all, I guess. So that's finished object number 1. Number 2 is a project I kind of threw together just because I don't know. I've had this idea kind of floating around in my head for a while, and I hadn't been able to find a pattern for it that I really liked. So I really like the combination of yarn and fabric. So I've seen some pictures of scarves made with crocheted, thick, bulky yarn and like a thin sheer fabric. And I think they're really cool and really pretty. And I just haven't found a pattern or tutorial for it that met kind of like everything I wanted in my head, which I'm not sure I can explain like exactly what I wanted it to look like. So anyways, I had some yarn from my stash that I don't remember what kind of yarn it is. It's a worsted weight acrylic, and then I had some old t-shirts in my fabric stash. And so I decided to make a little project. So this is my Mobius cowl with t-shirt material mixed in. I don't know what to call it. It's a cowl slash scarf with yarn and fabric. So I don't know if it's hard to tell because I'm wearing a black shirt. So this is yarn, and I held it double. I had 2 skeins of this yarn. I held it double for the crocheted section, and then this is an old t-shirt that I cut up and just cut to the width of the crocheted scarf and just sewed it on around the edges. So I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the crocheted section. It is crossed triple crochets. I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but they're just triple crochets making an X with each other. So and that's all it is all the way around. And then while it was still flat, so it's made long ways, while it was still flat, I sewed the t-shirt. Pardon my dog here. I sewed the t-shirt on the edge. And then I put one twist in it and just slip stitched the seam together. I don't know if you can tell. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I still don't know that it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. Can't lay flat. The twist kind of gets lost sometimes, but I like that with the twist it shows off both sides, and it's really warm, and the t-shirt makes it really soft, so I'm happy with it. It was, you know, I whipped it up in a couple of evenings. It was a fun, easy, mindless project. So yeah, that's finished object number 2, and I'm much more happy with. Finished object number 3 is similar, because again, that wasn't exactly meeting what I was envisioning in my head, because I wanted the fabric to be more drapey next to the yarn. So I have not woven in the ends on this one because I'm lazy. But I'm wearing it just the same. So this is, I had leftover yarn from my hat that I made, my Artemis toque. And so this is the Lime Brand Scarfie. So it's the same pattern, just held single as what I was doing for the black, so it's crossed double or triple crochets. And then I had this jersey material with little arrows on it that I got at Hobby Lobby before my second son was born. I used it to make a kind of a nursing scarf. And so I had some leftover of that. So this one, I don't know if I like it triple or double. I kind of like it both ways. So the fabric is, instead of sewn on the backing of it, it's just half and half. So I really like this one. Stand up a little bit so you can see. But I'm still not sure that it's clear that I'm wearing one scarf made of both fabric and crochet. I feel like it looks like I'm wearing a crocheted scarf and a fabric scarf. I still like the way it looks, but it's not quite meeting what I wanted. So for this one, I just crocheted the length that I wanted. I think I just used up until I was out of yarn, and then I actually I punched little holes with a tiny hole punch into the fabric, and then I pulled the yarn through with a smaller hook, and then crocheted it to the fabric. Or maybe I started with it like that. So on the ends that I started, I attached it to the fabric. I figured out how many stitches I would need and and I punched that many holes, and then I think I did a row of single crochet, and then I attached it, did a row of single crochet, then started my pattern. And then when I got to the end, I did the same thing. So it's not really sewn on, it's crocheted on. So I'm happy with that one. It was fun to make. I don't know if I'll keep trying to come up with what I actually am picturing in my head, or if what I'm picturing in my head is just not possible, because neither of those are actually, they don't look like what I was hoping they would look like, but I'm happy with them either way. Alright, that's finished objects. You might notice that there are some that I did not show you, things that I should be showing you as finished objects, because I haven't finished them. So I guess that moves us into works in progress. So these amigurumis that I'm making for my kids. I don't know what's wrong with me. I cannot finish them. Like, I can't. So they were supposed to be Valentine's presents, if you'll recall. Valentine's Day was in February, like it is every year. It is now mid-April. So when I knew they weren't going to be Valentine's presents, I was like, well, that's fine. They'll be Easter presents. So then I realized I wasn't going to get them finished for Easter. And I was like, they'll just be presents whenever I get them done. And I'm not touching them. I have not touched this in weeks. The superhero, mostly done. Still need some boots. Don't know why I haven't done it yet. Just haven't. I don't want to. I don't know why I don't want to. I think I'm just really tired of amigurumi. And also, I'm a really selfish crocheter. I just like to make things for me, I think. I think that's what it comes down to. But mostly I think I'm tired of amigurumi. It's too much single crochet, super tight, my hands get tired, the teeny tiny little hook. I'm tired. It used to be all I did. All I did was amigurumis. And I designed my own amis, and I loved it. It was so much fun, and I think I'm over it. So anyways, let's jump into works in progress. Here is my dragon in pieces. So we have a body, yay! Then we have a head. I have everything done for this except for the horns and obviously sewing it together. So there's tons of, just a whole bag full of tiny little dragon bits. So he'll have this like belly line sewn on. And then there's a bunch of little spikes that will go down the back. I think I have 6 of these. Oh, and a tail. I haven't made the tail yet. I haven't made the tail yet, guys. What am I doing? I don't know. I don't know. I will finish them eventually. I have arms. This is, what is this? I don't even know what this is. Is that the tail? No, I can't be a tail. Ears? Those are ears. He's gonna be super cute. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I don't want to work on it. So, I don't know. I don't have any more holidays coming up. His birthday's not until next January. So, we'll see. I'll finish it one day. And then I'll be done with it. So that's work in progress number 1. Work in progress number 2. Which is actually my only other work in progress right now. I have I signed up for a pattern test for Hooked Hazel on Instagram. and she designed an April Showers wrap, it's called. So it's a great, like, summer, springy wrap. It's really long to just throw around when you don't have sleeves on and it's a little chilly. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very excited about it. I was watching her design it on Instagram, like with her progress shots, and then it popped up as a pattern test, and I was like, me, hello. So anyways, it's made in fingering weight yarn, which I have not historically used very frequently, though I will in the future be using more frequently. So I thought this would be a good, like, dip my toes in fingering weight project, and it has been, but it has also been all-consuming because fingering weight takes a lot longer, and because it's a pattern test, I can't just work on it when I feel like it. I have to finish it within her deadline, which is, she was very gracious and has extended the deadline by another week, and I'm still not entirely confident in my ability to get it done. It's not because I'm procrastinating, because I am working on it, and I'm not letting myself work on other things until I'm done, which is very hard for me. But I don't think I'm just not very fast with fingering weight. It's hard for me because I'm used to big hooks and big yarn and instant gratification crafting. And this is none of those things. But it's beautiful, and I'm really happy with it. So it is living in the house. It's living in my little fox yarn bowl. He's the cutest thing, guys. I mean, look at him. Can you see? He's so sweet. So the yarn is Red Heart. It's a wrap, which is 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. Now, I don't know how much I've expressed this on the podcast. I'm a bit of a Red Heart snob. I'm judgy about them. I don't like their yarn. I have not yet used one of their yarns that I was happy with. Until this one. It's fantastic. It's so squishy and so soft, and the colors are amazing. And I just realized I did not write down the colorway of this one. But it's this tiny little cake. It's super squished, so it comes real small. It's like puffed up, so it's real tiny. It's like $10 for 1,100 yards, and it's 200 grams, I believe. So this colorway started off with this black charcoaly, not really black, and then moved into this teal, and then we have the brighter blue that we'll finish with. So let me show you the wrap as it is right now. So currently, it is this wide, and I'd say I'm about, I haven't weighed this, well, I'm over a third done. I think I'm probably halfway, a little over halfway done at this point. So I just have to finish up the teal and then get into the blue. So, but I love the color changes. These are my colors. I mean, it's gray and teal, so I had to. I'm really happy with the way it's working up. It's going to be really big, really long, really wide. Great for just throwing over your shoulders. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I have about a week left, and then I can work on some other things again. But the pattern's going to be great. We had a couple bugs at the beginning that I helped work out, which I mean, that's one of my favorite things about pattern testing. I don't just do it because I like to get a pattern without paying for it, which, I mean, that's a nice perk. But I mean, I take it very seriously, so I was going back and forth with her, and I felt bad because I was texting at like 11 o'clock at night, and I did not mean for her to be responding, though I don't know if she's in my time zone, so maybe it wasn't quite as late. But I had had coffee late at night, which I shouldn't have done, so I was up way later than I should have been, and we were going back and forth, just trying to figure out like what the stitch count was supposed to be, and where the, I knew there was an error, but we were trying to figure out where it was, and we got it all worked out. And so, I mean, luckily I was not very far in, so I was, you know, maybe this far in, and I had to frog it back and then restart it the next day once we got that worked out. Yeah, I love that part of pattern testing and just kind of figuring out, solving the problem. So yeah, I really enjoy pattern testing. I don't know how much I enjoy pattern developing, but I like to help other people develop their patterns. So that is my main work in progress, the only work in progress I'm actually working on right now. I'm very happy with it, and I'm also very ready to be done with it so I can wear it. I mean, if it ever warms up enough to wear a light wrap and not a giant blanket. I'm very jealous of all my podcasty friends who live in Florida and Texas. I don't know what I'm doing up here, guys. It's too cold. It's too cold, and I'm over it. I'll stop ranting about the weather, I promise. Alright. Oh! I have another finished object that I forgot to show you. It's not yarn related. Probably why I forgot about it. But I'm going to show you anyways, because this is a craft cast, not a crochet cast. Though crochet is pretty much the only craft I do these days. So I am in a MOPS group. If you don't know what MOPS is, it's Mothers of Preschoolers. So, and by that they mean mothers of children who are school aged, not preschoolers. So like under 5, before you go into kindergarten, which I am. And we had a crafting day at our last meeting, which we only have a couple times a year, and they're my favorite days. So we were this time doing tea towels, and they had stamps, and so it was like paint and fabric medium, and they had stamps and stencils, and they had like fruit, like cut up fruit that you could stamp with, and then they had stencils that my friend who was leading the craft has a cricket, which I want. I want one very badly, but I have no room for it, and I do not need another thing to buy all the things for. One day I will have one of these. So she had made some stencils on her cricket, and there's one that's a Bible verse and one that is a hymn. So this one is that it is well with my soul. So we just, the stencil was kind of sticky, and you just stuck it on and then blotted it with sponge brushes with regular acrylic paint and mixed with a fabric medium. So that's the It Is Well With My Soul, and of course I made it teal and gray. And then this one is a verse from Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. Which is one of my favorite verses. So yeah, those are my tea towels. I'm so happy with them. I think it was a really fun. It was a fun, relaxing craft day. And it was probably only relaxing because I didn't have to clean up after all of the stuff. That's mostly why I only crochet now, is because any other craft that I'm into requires too much setup and too much cleanup, and I can't get it all done in the middle of nap time. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to bring them up. I had started another project. I'm calling it hibernating. I'm going to frog it. I'm going to pull the whole thing out. it was for the different designer crochet along with Faye over at the Crochet Circle podcast, and it was, you're supposed to use a designer you hadn't used before. So there is a designer on Ravelry. I'm completely blanking on her name. I'm gonna have to look it up. Rebecca Stylings. So you can find her on Ravelry and on Instagram. She does beautiful cable work. Amazing. And little pro tip. Most of the time when she releases her patterns on Ravelry, she releases them for free for the first week. So if you just add it to your library, even if you're not going to start it right then, you add it to your library and you have it forever for free. And then after the first week, they're paid for patterns. They're worth paying for if you ask me, because they're beautiful. But if you just catch her when she first releases it, then you will find it. You get it for free. So one of my favorite features on Ravelry is the pattern suggestions section. Is that what it's called? So when you go to the main patterns page, there's like a little box in the bottom-ish section that's just new patterns that have been added to Ravelry that Ravelry thinks you would be interested in based on your projects and your favorites and your history and your friends and all sorts of algorithms, I'm sure. So because I had favorited a couple of her patterns in the past, every time she adds one to Ravelry, it pops up in there. So I just check that once a day, every other day. I just hop on and see if there's anything new that I want to add to my favorites, or it's just a fun way to see what's new and what's coming up on Ravelry. So I just always see when hers pop up and add it to my library, and so I have kind of a collection of her patterns right now, but I hadn't actually done any of them. So I started her mitts, which are called the, guys, my brain is not on today. What are they called? The Mont Michel fingerless gloves. And they are fingering weight, and they are 2-color. I'll pop a picture of what I have so far of them in here. But they are, so they're fingering weight in 2-color, so the mitt is worked in 1 color, and then the cable is worked in a different color. She had done the pattern sample in Malbrigo, I want to say, with a really deep blue and then kind of a lighter blue for the cable, but it was not a stark contrast. It was just enough to really make the cable pop. And so you guys know I have a thing for fingerless mitts. So I decided to start those for the different designer Cal, but I wanted to pull from my stash, but I wasn't quite sure how much yardage it was going to take, and I didn't want to break into a new skein of fingering weight if it was only going to take part of it, and then I wasn't going to have a project for the rest of it, because most of the fingering weight I have is nice yarn, and I didn't want to waste half a skein of it. So I had some old fingering weight craft store, I don't even know what it was. The cabled one is 100% acrylic, I'm pretty sure, and then the mitt one is it's a cotton blend, I think. Anyways, so I got through the first section of the cable repeat, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be too big for my tiny little baby wrists. So when I put it on, it kind of it hangs off a good bit, and that's before it's been worn and stretched out. And because it's a cotton blend, I'm pretty sure it will stretch. So I think I need to frog it back for that reason and reduce the amount of stitches on the back side. But also, I picked a really high contrast combination for the cable, and I don't think I like that. I think I would rather do something closer to what her original pattern was, that it's a different color, but it blends in. So because of that, they're hibernating, I'm calling them. So I'm going to probably frog the whole thing. And I do still want to make the mitts, but decal is over, and so I don't know when I'll make them, because they're not high on my priority list of things I need to finish right now, because hopefully it's warming up and I don't need more fingerless mitts for this season. And I didn't want to go out and buy more fingering weight yarn, because as you will see in my next segment, I have a decent amount of fingering weight yarn that I need to get through first. And so, anyways, that's where those stand. I will make them. They are beautiful. You should go check out all her patterns. They're amazing. Sorry, guys, this weather is really messing with my my head and my sinuses, and I keep getting headaches and like stuffy noses, and ugh. I'm sorry. I said I was going to stop complaining about the weather. I meant one day. One day I will stop complaining about the weather. Not today. Moving on to Stashquisitions. I went to YarnCon in Chicago. It was so much fun. So I decided to go, and I invited Gina of the Yaycast to go with me, and I was like, it doesn't look like it's super well advertised. It will probably not be very crowded, and they had like goodie bags for the first 50 people. So I was like, we'll get there right when it opens, and obviously we're gonna get a goodie bag. So we pull up at like 10:01. They opened at 10. There was a line like around the building. Apparently it was better advertised than I thought. So anyways, we did not get a goodie bag, but that's okay. It was so much fun. So I tried to be really good. I went in, I had a list of projects that I have on my list to make that I only have one skein for. So for all of these projects, they are 2 skein projects. I have one color, and I needed a contrasting color or a coordinating color to go with it. So I went with my list. I pretty much stuck with my list. But it was so much fun to just see all of the different yarn dyers and indie dyers, and it just be surrounded by that much yarny goodness. It was amazing. Amazing. So much fun. So let me show you what I got. Ugh. This is my pretty basket. Okay. First things first, I have figured out what I'm going to do with my Moon Tower yarn. This is not what I got at YarnCon. This is my Moon Tower Sully, Mike, and Randall. That is the prettiest yarn I've ever owned, and I'm so happy with it. So I'm going to make a shawl by, this is going to be like a combination of acquisitions and what's coming up. I'm going to make a shawl by Deanne of Addie Day Designs, and I did not write down the name of it. I haven't purchased it yet. But it's a 2-color shawl, and she made hers in like hot pink and black, and I was like, ooh, I really like that. I could see my Sully, Mike, and Randall working for this, because I was a little worried that this is so bright that if I did a 1 skein project with only this, that it would be overwhelmingly bright around my neck. So it will be combined with this. And I'll try to pop a picture of the shawl that I'm going to make up here. So this beauty, look how pretty it is. It is by Show Me Yarn, hand dyed in the Ozarks. Let's see there. Focus. So it is. It's the colorway Bois d'Arc on their Boondock base, which is a fingering weight. BFL. I believe that's Blueface Leicester. I don't really know, but I think that's what that stands for. So it's 75/25 superwash, Blueface Leicester, and nylon. 100 grams, 464 yards. So, which is pretty similar to this one, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon, 100 grams, 463 yards. So they are exactly the same. So I think they're going to coordinate really well. I love the way the colors work together with like the tonal blacks and grays, the really bright blue, green, purple. So project number 1. Very excited about it. Second, I showed you this a long time ago, which is the Midnight Blues from Gina at Squish This Yarns and the A-Cast. So this is her Midnight Blues on a single squish base, so it's a single ply fingering weight. And I got to go with this. I couldn't find a single ply to go with it that the color wasn't going to overpower the Midnight Blues. So it's going to go with this one, which is by Northern Bee Studio. And it is the colorway Poison Water. It's 100% superwash merino, 435 yards per 100 grams. So this is going to be a hat for my husband. It's a pattern by Mama Chi on Ravelry. So it's a 2-color. It's going to be really pretty. It's probably going to end up being a Christmas present for him, but I'm not going to wait that long to start it. Maybe a birthday present, but his birthday's in July. So I don't know if you get people winter hats in July. So that's number 2. It's my stash acquisition. Number 3 is I'm doing another pattern test for Bumblebee Acres, who I was talking about earlier. For Sam over there, she is releasing their very first crochet pattern. So they have a lot of knitting patterns. And they're releasing a crochet pattern, but it's a crochet brioche. It's going to be a shawl. I love crochet brioche patterns. I've done a couple in the past, and they're all kind of written differently because there's no standard for how to do crochet brioche. And that's really just kind of, I don't know. Brioche knitting in knitting is a standard stitch. There's one way to do it, as far as I understand. I find that when pattern designers say they made a crochet brioche, it means it's 2 colors, like interwoven together. And usually it looks different from front and back, but they're all done differently. So it's however that designer kind of came up with a way to achieve that effect. So I'm doing a pattern test for her, and I thought, obviously I need to use her yarn for this. So it's a two skeins of fingering weight yarn. So I'm going to be using this Knit Picks that came in my fiber share box that I showed last time. So Knit Picks fingering weight, and the tag is popped out of it, so I don't remember the colorway. And I'm going to pair that, jumping ahead, with this Bumblebee Acres. Look at those colors. I love the greeny tealy with the like almost chocolatey gray, like it's brownish, grayish, purplish almost. So this is it's the colorway Inlet. It's their squishy sock, 75-25 merino nylon fingering weight. And so those two, look how pretty those are together. So this yarn's a little more twisty than this one. But I think I can't see my little screen while I'm doing this. I think they're going to go really well together. So I'm very happy about that. I have the pattern, but I've been trying to finish my wrap before I jump into this. Though I do want to get feedback to her on just how the pattern works up. So I might just start it and try and get through one pattern repeat and then take my time finishing it, because she doesn't need me to actually work the whole pattern before she releases. So that is number 2. Number 3 acquisition. If you have not checked out her podcast, I will link to it below in the show notes. Definitely need to go check her out and check out their yarn. It's all beautiful. They have so many like nerdy yarns, and I love Like they have a whole Harry Potter themed colorway collection that I need in my life. And they have like Game of Thrones, which I don't watch, but I know people get excited about, and all sorts of other just like fun, nerdy, like show and movie themed yarn colorways, and I need them all. I limited myself to buying one skein, but it probably will not be the last skein I buy of their yarn because it's so pretty and so squishy. Okay, number 3. Now these were not on my list, but there was a booth that had $5 hanks of yarn. And the sign said like $5. No, we're not kidding. Which, so I had got there after it had been pretty cleared out, so there was only a couple colors left, which is why these are not my colors. But look how pretty they are. So yeah, these were $5 each. They are 100% silk. It's called Le Lapin de Soie. I picked a lot of French named yarn on accident. I didn't realize until I was writing out the show notes for this. But so it's Le Lapin de Soie, which means the silk rabbit. 100% silk noir, light fingering, 656 yards per 50 gram skein. I don't know how that's possible. I really don't. I mean, this is a fingering weight wool for 100 grams, and it's 463 yards, and that's pretty standard. So, is that just how silk is? There's 656 yards in this teeny tiny 50 gram hank. I don't know. I am skeptical. It's a light fingering, it says. It's very twisty, kind of like a rusticy looking yarn. I don't have any idea what I'm going to make with this, but I just couldn't not buy it. It's by Bunny Badger. The logo is cute. It's like a bunny rabbit colored like a badger. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. They're going to sit in my stash for a while, but they were pretty, so I bought them. Excuse me, I'm dropping things. They also had Tunisian bamboo crochet hooks for like $2, so I picked up a couple of those. I had a 6mm and a 5.5mm. I figured those are kind of sizes I use pretty standard with regular crochet, so I figured they were a safe bet for Tunisian crochet. And whenever I do start Tunisian crochet, I will probably start with worsted weight projects just to not overwhelm myself with trying to learn a new skill on tiny yarn. So I will at some point this year be learning Tunisian crochet, so I went ahead and picked those up. It was amazing. It was so much fun, and I can't wait for next year. I'm very excited about it. This is not really an acquisition, but I dyed another skein of the Patton's wool roving yarn, so I dyed this up. Again, this is just food coloring, and it's purples and pinks and a little blue. So I wanted it to coordinate with this one that I showed the time before. So they do kind of coordinate. I don't know what I'll do with them. I think maybe a cowl, but I more just have fun like seeing what they turn into when I dye them, because I have no idea what I'm doing, so they never turn out exactly like I think they're going to, but I'm generally happy with how they turn out. And then, guys, I have a lot of acquisitions. I feel like that's all I'm talking about these days. I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just accumulating yarn. But I have one more little set to show you, and then that'll be it. So my podcasty friend, Kalisha, of the Quirky Monday Quirky Monday Craftcast. If you don't watch her, you should be. She is fantastic. She's wonderful. She podcasts every week, which, as we've discussed, I cannot do. but I love it because I know I'm going to get to spend like an hour with her every week and just see what she's up to. And she's the most positive, funny, sweet, happy person. And also she's so real. Like, she does not have, as far as I can tell, I haven't met her in real life, so I mean, I'm pretty sure. She does not have like a podcast persona. Like, she's just her. She's completely herself, which I love because I feel like I just know her. And that's not to say other podcasters have a podcaster persona, because I don't feel that way really about anyone, but she just lets so much of her real life and her real self shine through amongst all her crafting. Also, she does everything. Like, she sews, she knits, she crochets, she designs, she jewelry fixing and making, and like t-shirts, and I think she's just constantly making, like always making, and I love that. I'm jealous of how much stuff she's able to get accomplished every week, because every week she has finished objects and new projects, and I'm like, how are you getting all that done? But I love her podcast. You need to go check it out. You should be watching it instead of me. Anyways, she had dyed up some yarn that she showed off on one of her episodes, and she was dyeing actually with acrylic and acrylic, I don't know, a blend, I don't know. She was dyeing with RIT dye, just fabric dye, which I have not done. And anyways, I commented and I was like, that skein is beautiful, I love it. It turned out awesome. And then she sent me a message on Instagram and was like, hey, do you want it? I'm not going to use it. And I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do want that. So she was so sweet. She mailed me yarn. But she didn't just mail me yarn. She threw in extra goodies, and it was so sweet and just made my heart so happy. So she sews project bags and sells them on Etsy, and I had stocked them in the past and just hadn't gone ahead and clicked purchase yet. She sent me a project bag. Look how cute. It's got little flowers, and of course it's teal, and it is lined. It's beautifully, like, all of her seams and edges are just perfect, and it's got her little label in it. It's very professional. It's very well made. It has a little made with love tag. I don't know if that's focusing. There it is. Made with love on the zipper pull. It's perfect. I am so impressed, Kalisha. Your sewing skills are amazing. Like, her boxed edges line up. Sorry, I've already got dog hair all over it. My wrap is living in this bag when I take it out of the house. So this is the yarn she sent me, and I don't remember the fiber content, but it's this bluish purplish gray. I think it's acrylic and maybe something else, and I want to say it's a worsted, maybe a sport weight. It looks worsted-ish, light worsted. Yeah, it's so pretty. And then she added some stitch markers to it, or progress keepers, which she sent me 2. One of them is living on my wrap. Sorry. Here we go. A little wooden bead with a painted tulip on it. Or is it painted? It might be like, I think it's paper. I think it's Mod Podged paper. So, super cute. And then she sent me some pins, which I have a pin obsession. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. I love a good pin. There's not much better than a good pin. And a cute little notebook that says musings, scribbles, notes, and such to go with my new pins. And a postcard from Orlando, because she lives in Florida. So, thank you, Kalisha. You're amazing. You made my heart so happy. And I am excited to work with your beautiful yarn. And I think of you every time I use my project bag. So, You should go check her out. You should watch her podcast. You should buy her project bags. They are amazing. I have one other stash acquisition that I can't show you because it's not a physical item. I won a giveaway on Hannah at the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. She had a giveaway a while ago, and the person who won it originally never responded. So she picked another winner, and it was me. So it was a pattern by Quaylen of the Quo podcast, and who, if you don't know him, you should go check him out. He is adorable. He is a student in Texas, and he is a crochet designer and crochet podcaster, and just released his first enamel pin, which is amazing. It's like a Ghostbusters themed, and it's called Stash Busters, and it's fantastic. So I won his Everyday Shawlette pattern, which is a granny stitch triangle scarf, which is beautiful. I'm going to make it. I have not started it yet. I think I'm going to make it with a Lion Brand mandala that I have in my stash, but it's 2-color, and so I don't know what I'm going to use as the second. I want kind of the mandala to do its color changing thing, and I would like a solid, probably a gray or a black, to go in between the color changes. So I have not started that one, but it is definitely on my list. That is it for the major stuff. I have a few more minutes before I have to go pick up the big one from preschool. So we're going to do life updates and podcasty updates. I have some exciting news for you. So if you've stuck around this long, good for you. You get exciting news. I have reached 100 subscribers. Yay! That means there are 100 of you who enjoy watching me ramble on about yarn on the internet, which is crazy to me. Not that it's crazy that you're watching crochet podcasts. It's just weird that that there are 100 people watching me online. I forgot to mention, when I was at YarnCon, a woman walked up to me and she was like, "You're Samsqueak," and I was like, "Uh-huh, yeah, yes I am. You watch me on the internet." That's weird. I generally like to assume that nobody watches these videos because that's the only way I can get the courage to put a video of myself talking about yarn on the internet. This is very outside of my comfort zone, guys. But I just pretend like it's just you and me. It's just you and me. We're sitting in my living room, we're chatting. Except I'm the one who's doing all the talking, and I unfortunately don't get to hear your responses unless you comment below. Anyways, it was so sweet. It was so nice to meet someone who watches the podcast, but also I was like, people actually watch this. And then I wanted to hide for a while. Anyways, there are 100 of you who are subscribed, and I'm so honored, and I'm so thankful that you are choosing to spend some time with me. So I'm doing a giveaway for 100 subscribers because you made my heart happy. So Hannah at the Cozy Cottage Crochet was generous enough to give a copy of her Treasure Island shawl, which if you have not seen it, it's beautiful. It's a simple but elegant shawl that she designed. It's her first pattern release, and she just did a fantastic job. I have seen the pattern. I have not started it, but I do have a copy of it, and I will be making it at some point. But it's a very well written, well put together, professional looking pattern. And she was generous enough to give me a copy to give away to one of you. So for reaching 100 subscribers, we are doing a giveaway. So we're going to keep it simple. Rules are subscribe, be a subscriber, and comment below and tell me what is the favorite thing you have ever made. It could be knit, it could be crocheted, it could be something else entirely. Just tell me what is something you have made that is your favorite. Or if it's not your favorite, just something you really love. Something that, because I don't like the word favorite, because I have a hard time picking favorites of anything. So something you are really proud of, that you loved making, yeah, I just like to see what other people are doing and what they have done. So comment below, favorite thing you have made, be a subscriber, and I will draw a winner before the next podcast episode, whenever that is. So I'm not going to put a date on here. Comment below before I record the next one. I will draw a winner and note that it is closed on there. That is it, and then I will get in contact with you, and Hannah will send you the pattern on Ravelry. So you do have to have a Ravelry username also. So yeah. Deal? Sound good? Okay, yay. My first giveaway. Other than that, life updates. Oh dear. I gotta go. I'm gonna have to record life updates when I get back, because I've got some things I want to talk to you about. I've been talking for a long time. This is a long episode for me. This is why I probably should record more than once a month, because this is too much to squeeze into one episode. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We're gonna see if we can get through this, finish it up. Kids are upstairs. I don't know how long they're gonna be. Relatively quiet. I bribed them with animal crackers, so let's see. So I mentioned in my last episode that I've started a crafting small group, and it's been going so great. I'm having so much fun with it. So I just want to encourage you, if you don't have a community that you can create with locally, I really encourage you to find something. So most local yarn stores will have a open knit night or a crochet night, or there's lots of knitting and crochet groups that meet. This group that I'm leading right now is not yarn specific. It's any craft that anyone wants to bring, and so we have people who color in coloring books, or people who are working on hand lettering, or some people are doing like graphic design, just all sorts of different crafting mediums. And it's so great to just see what other people are working on, and just kind of gain inspiration from that, and just be in community with people, because as much as I love our online community of crafters and crocheters and yarny people, that's not enough. So you need real life people too. So if you don't have that in your life, I encourage you to reach out, get out of your comfort zone a little bit if that's not your thing, and just try it. And I can almost guarantee that it's going to be a good thing for you. I had the pleasure of joining the Global Hookup with the Crochet Circle podcast. She hosts them once a month. They're online. She changes the time up every month, so so that different time zones can join in, and it's not for people in Australia who are waking up at like 6 a.m. to join last time, and I was like, that's dedication. You will not see me. I will not be camera ready at 6 a.m. for anyone. But it was a lot of fun. There was like, I want to say there were like 40 people from all over the world, Australia and England, and did we have one from South Africa? And America. It was so much fun. So I will definitely be joining in more of those. If you have not checked that out, I encourage you to. It was a lot of fun. Some upcoming pals that I wanted to make sure you guys know about. Some of them I'll be participating in. Kalisha of the Quirky Craftcast and Melody of the Melody Crochet podcast are starting an As Seen on TV cal. I believe it's already started, but it's not too late. So it's a crochet along or knit along of anything that is inspired by something you've seen on TV. So if you've seen like a blanket in the background, or a scarf someone's wearing, just recreating it, or creating something that's inspired by one of your favorite characters, which I just think is such a creative crochet along. And I'm not sure I'm going to participate, but I'm excited to kind of stalk it and follow along and see what everyone comes up with. and they get some good prizes for that too. So if you're looking for a fun crochet along, go join them over there. I will be participating in Hannah from the Cozy Cottage Crochet is about to start a Love Yourself Cal. I think that's what it's called. It's basically, it's speaking my language. She's encouraging people to selfish craft, which I don't think we should call it selfish crafting. I mean, I craft for my own enjoyment and my own benefit, and sometimes for others, but yeah, it's making something for yourself, because so often crafters are just always making for other people and always crocheting for other people, and they don't have anything to show for themselves, and they don't have anything to make themselves feel good. And you know what? You deserve it too. It's not just, all your friends and your family who deserve to enjoy your craft. You deserve it too. So I'm so happy she's hosting that. I was definitely in that phase for a long time where I didn't make things for myself. I only made things for other people. And right now I'm making things for me because I want to phase. So obviously whatever I'm working on at the time will qualify for the crochet along. I mean, I do have a couple things that are for other people coming up, but for the most part, my list is much more selfish than none. And then Lacey from the Hooked on Owls podcast is about to release another pattern. She's got a shawl that uses one ball of lion brand mandala, and she's going to be doing a crochet along for it to celebrate her subscriber milestone. What are you at now, Lacey? 500? It's amazing. Something like that. She's got a lot of subscribers, so I'm sure you know about her. But if you don't, go check her out. She's fantastic. And I'm really excited about the shawl because I have 2 non-matching balls of lion brand mandala, so I'm excited to use one of those for her shawl. So that will be starting soon. I don't know exactly when. I think whenever her next episode comes out, it will be starting. So yeah, those are all of my crochet yarny updates. As for general life, my littlest boy is officially walking now, so that's fun. Oh dear. And now there's banging and yelling going on upstairs. So I think I'm done here. It's been fun chatting with you. I have had such a good time talking to you, and I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I hope it is springier and warmer wherever you are. So don't forget to leave a comment below to enter the giveaway, and please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks. Have a great day. Bye!